up putting her in the hospital. The father-in-law quickly called their son, who was at work. He told his son that his wife had been hospitalized after the altercation with her mother-in-law and was currently in emergency care. He urged his son to come home immediately. When the son received the call, he was in complete disbelief. Everything had been perfectly fine when he left for work that morning. How could she end up in the hospital in just half a day? He demanded to know what had really happened. His father stammered out an explanation. He said there was an argument between his wife and their daughter-in-law. The daughter-in-law had talked back a few times during the quarrel. In a fit of rage, the mother-in-law grabbed a cooking spatula. She struck her daughter-in-law on the head with it. The blow was so severe that the young woman lost consciousness on the spot. She was rushed to the hospital immediately. Hearing this, the son hurried to the hospital. On the way, he kept pressing his father for more details. He couldn't believe his wife would be beaten so badly just for talking back. There had to be another reason, something more to the story. Under his son's persistent questioning, the father finally relented and explained further. That morning, their little grandson had been playing at home and took a bad fall. He cut his head open and it was bleeding quite a lot. The daughter-in-law wanted to take the child to the hospital to get it checked out, but she didn't have any money on her to pay for it. He got beat up like this. There must be other reasons. Faced with his son's questioning, the father hurriedly explained, "This morning, the little grandson was playing at home. He fell down. He got a cut on his head. It bled quite a lot. The daughter-in-law wanted to take the child to the hospital, but she had no money on her. The son was away from home again. His salary had always been managed by his own mother. The daughter-in-law had no choice but to go to her mother-in-law to ask for money to take their child to the doctor. But the mother-in-law absolutely refused to give her any money. The two of them got into an argument right then and there. Not only did the mother-in-law refuse the money, she even slapped her daughter-in-law across the face several times. Feeling that wasn't enough to vent her anger, she grabbed a cooking spatula and hit her daughter-in-law over the head with it. Hearing this, the son thought his mother had been excessively cruel. Even if she wouldn't give them the money, she didn't have to go that far. Then the father continued telling his son, because of this incident, the mother-in-law berated the daughter-in-law the entire morning. The father-in-law couldn't stand to watch it anymore, so he secretly gave the daughter-in-law $800, telling her to take the child to see a doctor. Who would have thought, after the mother-in-law found out, she flew into a rage. When the daughter-in-law returned from the hospital, the mother-in-law started hitting and cursing at her all over again. "It's all my fault. If I hadn't given her that $800, she wouldn't have been beaten so badly over it." Hearing his father's words, the son was even more confused. How could caring for his own son be wrong? It turned out the mother-in-law had seen the father-in-law giving money to the daughter-in-law. This didn't sit right with her at all. She became convinced there was something inappropriate going on between them. That's why she started hurling all kinds of abuse at the daughter-in-law. Who would have thought a mother-in-law like this could exist? By the time the son rushed to the hospital and saw his wife in the ICU, his heart felt like it was being torn apart. He immediately asked the doctor about his wife's condition. The doctor explained that due to the severity of her injuries, while they had managed to save her life, her nervous system was damaged. There was a possibility of paralysis from the waist down. To proceed with the next surgery and the necessary rehabilitation, they would need $800,000. The son said, "Just save her, that's all that matters. I'll find the money somehow. Even if I have to sell everything we own, I will get my wife the treatment she needs. She has worked tirelessly for this family. She's given so much. I won't abandon her, no matter what." The son noticed his mother wasn't at the hospital. She had been so frightened by what happened that she hid back at home. No matter how much he pleaded, she refused to come and see her. The son finds his mother. He demands to know why she went so far. After all, that's his wife she hurt. But the mother-in-law keeps making excuses. She claims the daughter-in-law is faking it. Says she just gave her a little nudge and she collapsed. She protests she has no money to give. Accuses the wife of constantly hounding her for cash. Says the daughter-in-law is lazy and does nothing at home. That she has no shame. Calls her a manipulative schemer. Says she even has the nerve to pester the father-in-law for money. Her own husband's father. The audacity. She's completely shameless. A woman like that deserves what she got. Hearing this, the son has heard enough. He realizes his mother is being completely unreasonable, twisting the truth and lying through her teeth. Furious, he tells her, "Shut your filthy mouth! My wife is in that state. And you're still insulting her? You hit her, you slander her. Aren't you afraid of karma? She needed that money for our child's medical treatment. Why would you withhold it? I hand over my entire paycheck to you for safekeeping. You have such a wonderful wife for your son, and you don't even appreciate her. Remember when we first got together, she saw how poor our family was. When we married, she didn't ask for any dowry or gifts. We didn't even have a wedding ceremony. She chose to marry me just like that. Over the years, she has been frugal and thrifty, always careful with our finances. Our life gradually improved, but you repaid kindness with betrayal. You harmed her like this. Let me tell you clearly, I will not let this matter rest. I will never forgive you for this. Once my wife recovers and leaves the hospital, we will move out and live separately. From now on, I sever the mother-son relationship with you." At this moment, my father also said, "Let's divorce. I will live with my son from now on." Seeing the situation, do you think the son and father's actions are right?